Na pivawuna.
Pivawona.
Nyakit Janet. Halito Sio Gwana. Kikidoos.
Hickadoos.
Ansti Hunterish. Madawaka Kunumante. Yate. Stongo Oshkin Yacha. Mike Heinepe. Shoda. Good morning. Coming live from 1950 South Shepherd. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Pivawona. Chad. Suffering from the Mind Changers from Midwest City, Oklahoma. Very honored to be with my brother. And very honored to be back in Oklahoma. Oh.
By way of where?
Northridge, California. Right across the street from Richard Pryor's house.
Yeah.
And they don't know Richard Pryor.
What?
I told a couple people that he used to live across the street, and they're like, "Who is Richard Pryor?" So then I made the mistake of playing Dracula in the Hood.
Yeah.
And they were utterly
not impressed
and deeply offended and asked me to please turn it off. And I'm like, "What's your name, boy?
Yeah.
What's all that nap on your neck? It's 1975, fool. Have you ever heard of the orthodontist?" And they were just like outraged. So I feel like I'm living in a different time, you know? But
definitely. Well, we're happy to have you home, brother.
That's right, brother.
Happy to have you home. So what is your sobriety date?
November 15th of 2022.
Wow, coming up on 4, huh? 3? Oh, I can't count. I can't
keep up with you and Beans. Y'all are the elders.
Beans,
y'all the ones that
Beans
showed the way for us.
Hey,
showed the way for y'all.
I would have to say, I have a couple of brothers around. My brother BJ, my brother BJ, he's got a little bit more time on me. But, it was because, well, this is, and not to tell his story, but Beans had just went to treatment, and my sister-in-law, like we were drinking one day, and I had my back to my brother and his wife, and I could hear them having a conversation about, like, man, maybe you should tell your brother that he needs to go. You know what I mean? And I'm acting like I don't hear them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they were like, because Randy, man, he's doing so good.
Yeah.
Like, do you see how good he's doing? Like, he looks happy. He looks healthy. Like, maybe your brother should go check that out. And I'm acting like I don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Still jamming to the music,
Yeah.
But I hear what,
Yeah.
So, so then, fast forward a couple of weeks, and I'm walking by 81 by the store here in El Reno. It's called 81 Stop. I'm walking by 81 Stop. Just came from the dope man's house.
Yeah.
And I'm walking, like, because there's a bridge, that you can walk. And I was going under that bridge, to go do my thing.
Yeah.
And when I look over, Beans is walking across that parking lot.
Oh, wow.
And he's with his niece and, this other chick. And I just thought to myself, like, I thought he was in California. Like, what's he doing back? Yeah. And but they didn't know who I was because COVID's going on.
Yeah.
I have I got the mask up and I have my hood on and I just got a sack, so I'm not like trying to share.
Yeah.
So like, I run across the road, I'm like, hey, what's up? Well then fast forward maybe a week or two, I end up on a plane to California. And, I go to Pacific Manor in Riverside, to the detox over there, which, I had a great experience over there. Shout out to Pacific Manor. But
Even around.
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't really, because I heard that they quit taking Oklahoma clients.
Yeah.
And it turned into its own little program. But anyways, I get there and there's this guy from Boston.
Boston.
You
Get
know.
out the car.
Yeah.
Get out the car.
Let's go to the car and get a beer. You know, but he's like, "Where you from?"
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, "I'm from Oklahoma."
Yeah.
He said, "Are you Mexican or are you native?" So, man, I'm native. He said, "What tribe are you?" I said, "I'm Cheyenne and Arapaho." He said, "There's this other guy here that says the exact same thing. What tribe are you?" I said, "I'm Cheyenne and Arapaho." He goes, "Yeah, that's the same exact thing that the other guy says." You know, he's a big guy named Randy with long hair. I knew exactly who he was talking about. You know, and here comes Beans, came around the corner and, turned out to be, one of my best friends, So like I kind of feel like he kind of like he kind of guided me on what to expect next. Like we're gonna be going to sober living. He's like, but come to my program.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I wanted to just go by myself.
Yeah.
Like I knew that I needed to figure this thing out by myself.
That's right.
So he went to another program in Fountain Valley, like literally right across the street from the police department.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that was where, and I can't even remember the name of the program, but him and Martha, they both went over there. And then of course, I went to Dream Recovery, and the rest is history.
That's right.
So I was very fortunate to have him, like guide me. Like he's the one that talked me into buying an electric bike.
Okay.
And then we're just like, he's like, let's ride the bus to somewhere we don't know where we're at and just ride our bikes back. Like,
wow. Real rugged.
Yeah. And man, he really showed me, showed me, how to get to the beach. Like he showed me everything,
And another good thing that I really love and respect about Randy is he's been our guy on point with these missing women.
Yeah.
That, I mean, he will go wherever they are,
literally find them.
and find them, and he doesn't want any credit for it. He's very humble about it, and
Definitely.
I don't think that he gets enough praise for what he does.
Yeah.
Putting up posters, going out to these 7-Elevens. I mean, just like he's a find outologist.
Yeah.
He will find out.
Yeah.
That's what he does. So that's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Now we don't have to stop talking about if we blow his head all the way up.
Definitely. So, what brings you to Oklahoma this weekend?
I'm going to be part of the first annual Rescovery Powwow, and it's something that's on my heart. That it's something that I hope that we can emulate all over the world, all over Turtle Island.
Oh yeah.
Have you read? Let me read this proclamation real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you haven't done it real quick. Okay, so it says that, it's in a frame somewhere. So I'm reading. This is, what voice should I use? Should I use the real Caucasian one?
No, you can't read.
The City of El Reno, Office of the Mayor Proclamation, the Indigenous Peoples Recovery Day. Whereas Indigenous people have faced disproportionately high rates of substance use and addiction, yet continue to lead powerful healing movements grounding in traditional knowledge and community strength. And whereas Native-led recovery efforts, including those centered in ceremony, language, family, and land-based healing, represent models of hope and transformation. And whereas September was first recognized as National Recovery Month by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, in 1989, which is observed annually. And whereas during the National Recovery Month, it is important to raise awareness, reducing stigma, and support local and tribal initiatives for all El Reno residents, including Indigenous peoples. And whereas this day is dedicated to honoring the courage, resilience, and healing journeys of Native people in recovery, uplifting the voices of those who have overcome challenges, and affirming community community support. Now, wherefore I, Steve Jensen, by the powers vested as the mayor of the city of El Reno, Oklahoma, recognize September 20th, 2025 as Indigenous Peoples Recovery Day. So that's
Yeah. Tomorrow.
I did.
okay. That's like the added verbiage.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about it a couple months ago, it was on my heart that you know, getting back into the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing is that you know, growing up without any culture, growing up completely consumed by a materialistic colonizer lifestyle,
Yeah.
feeling lost. And then when the drugs stopped working, but I couldn't climb out of that pit. And then meeting Sunday and getting involved in
Oh, yes.
variety, and then her and Toya coming, you know, bringing me back to Oklahoma a couple of years ago, and then meeting y'all and found out that Wellbriety and this movement, it's not a treatment center based program. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then going to Sweat and seeing the blue lights, and it's something that I wanted to dedicate my life to, and it's the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I'm just honored to be here, and look forward to everything we're gonna do.
Definitely. You know, and I think it's you know, very important that you know like the way that you've explained, you know, is like growing up in a, you know, maybe in a, you know, like I did grow up with culture,
Yeah,
and I still ended up, you know, like,
yeah.
you know,
You know, for me, the colonizer lifestyle, the materialism, the greed, all that fakeness, you know, all of that leads to a philosophy of a scarcity mindset, you know, and getting back to them old ways, getting back to
yeah,
you know, what the way our people were for hundreds of thousands of years. You know, I had an elder that was telling me they went to I want to say it was Arizona, and they found some markings. They're like 1200 BC. And I'm not smart enough to know how many thousands of years it is, but it was like way before the timelines that we have established.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like getting back to those, getting people away from all that, the chemicals and the, you know, all that stuff. So,
you know, and I was watching, you know, I don't know what put it on my heart. Well, maybe it was somebody who shared, maybe I think it was Don Duchesne who shared something about, you know, forgiving the unforgivable. You know, watching that video again.
yeah.
And I shared it with a few people, maybe a few people that haven't seen it. You know, to me, that's always a great introduction into Wellbriety, because you can break it down in segments. You know, you can talk about the mind changers. You can talk about, you know, kind of when the you know, the culture, you know, where they disconnected us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I you know, and I shared it with a few of my bros, you know, yesterday. But you know, I just, you know, caught myself just watching that video.
Yeah.
Forgiving the unforgivable.
Yeah, we have,
you know, on YouTube.
Like I remember when Kokomo, Andrea Alexander, she said that we have
Kokomo.
to. Yeah, she's the clan mother of Oklahoma. That's her new nickname. Hi, Kokomo.
Kokomo.
But she said, you know, we have to talk about the untalkable so that we can learn to forgive the unforgivable. You know,
Yeah.
And I think that that's real important,
Definitely.
especially for the perspective of a lot of people who don't understand why things are the way they
Yeah.
are. That we have to go. History is repeated until it's corrected.
Yeah.
You know? And oh, look, Dave's blasting on me.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sweat, where were you last night? Well, you let me know, bro, like 30 minutes before y'all went and sweated, you know?
He showed up late too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Well, he
my
ran
brother.
the meeting. He ran the meeting last night. But, he made it for a few rounds.
That's right. That's right.
What did David? What are the other comments?
Nat just said choke up on the mic at Chad.
Oh yeah.
When you were reading the proclamation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, make sure.
Okay. Well, if the boss ain't happy, ain't no one happy. So we want to make sure that.
One of the things that I see, like when you turn to talk, but you really need to like
project forward
and then
Yes.
look at my reaction, and I'll probably be like, no.
Charlene McAdee says,
Hey.
Nyakit, Chad, and
Nyakit,
Barry.
Nyakit,
Oh,
nyakit.
Good morning, Charlene. David Levi says, we're going to find Chad a wife this weekend. At least a snag. Got a few prospects lined up already.
Yo, the anti-slayer.
Ooh-wee.
And Nat says, no one is exempt from addiction. I came from culture too and strayed too far from the fire. Culture is also what pulled me out of that darkness.
Mm.
And we have 5 viewers. I believe one is.
Oh, hey.
But we got
Hey.
some people over here today. That's
All
cool.
right, all right. Well, should we go ahead and get off into this reading?
Let's do
You
this.
still got to make your.
Oh yeah. Oops.
You done forgot all about it.
I did. Somehow I think they'll get along without me.
Yeah.
Soon I want to introduce some good people that I've met in this journey when the time is right.
Definitely.
That share the same vision that tour does. I think we should have a tour in every community.
A California
across-
tour,
Well, I mean, across Turtle Island,
or not tour, but all
Yeah.
nations.
all nations. Yeah. You want me to read it? You want to read it?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't even know where I'm at right now, big dog.
Okay. Chad Riley, I suffer from the mind changers. I'm Creek from Milwaukee City. My grandmother was Ruby Henson from the Creek Nation.
Hey, Chad.
I am building myself. There are many roots. I plant, I pick, I prune, I consume. Wendy Rose, Hopi,
Miwok.
Miwok. The most sacred thing on this Mother Earth is life. My life on this earth is governed by God's laws, principles, and spiritual values. These things are my root. Let me see your gifts of growing and becoming a spiritual warrior. Make my strength based on values, spiritual values, on principles of the unseen world, God's principles and laws, the laws of God that really run the universe. We need to realize the seeds we plant in the spring will be what show up in our summer seasons of growth and will be the fruits that we will harvest in our fall season. Really, we have a lot to do with what shows up in our lives. Great Spirit, let my seed that I plant today be based on values that will make you pleased with my selection.
Oh, go ahead. You can go first.
Man, so one of the first things that I was taught in Wellbriety is that everything grows by the sacred number of 4. That there's 4 seasons, there's 4 directions, there's 4 cycles of life: baby, youth, adult, elder, and there was the 7th generation prophecy that all 4 directions would come together: the red, the yellow, the black, and the white. And that's what I see happening. But in context of everything grows in the natural cycle of the spring. The spring is when the seed is planted, and that's the first year of sobriety, and it's important to build that root system by getting a sponsor, going to meetings, doing my step work, because I can't transmit a signal I don't have. And if I'm too busy worried about all these outside things, and I don't take a look at what the real problem is, I won't ever grow, which also correlates with change comes from within.
Yeah.
So that's when the seed's planted. Change comes from within. And so the next direction is the south. That's the summer. And the summer is before any development can occur, it has to be preceded by a vision. So in that second year, that's when I met y'all. You
Mhm.
know, when I came out to, when I came back to Oklahoma with Sunday and Toya,
Toya.
that was my vision when I saw y'all. I was like, I want this everywhere. I want to be a part of this. This is cool. You know, I mean, this is like what it was like, what I always envisioned when I was hitting the Pookie. You know, that it somehow would be cool. The part of this collective, and we're just kind of hanging out, making things happen.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was my vision, and so change comes from within. Uh, Before any development can occur, it has to be preceded by
By
a vision.
vision.
So that's the summer, and so now I'm coming into the fall because I'm coming into year 3, and that is
The
that
great
a
learning.
great learning must occur. And so every time I come back to Oklahoma, every time that I get introduced to teachings, not new teachings, them old teachings, because
Mhm.
it's like, you know, the teaching today is don't eat Tide Pods. You know, make sure that your 9 different people that are somehow on your agenda, and you got to correctively go through all these hoops to make anything. I don't understand. I'm you know, I'm Generation X.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, so a great learning must occur. And then the fourth thing that I see developing that hasn't happened is uh, we must create a healing forest.
Definitely.
You know, so that's what I got out of the reading.
That's good. That was good. That was real good. You know, for me, when I think about, you know, I pick, I prune, I consume. You know, like I think of it as like that was part of my growing process. You know, like, and the pruning part was so hard for me
Mm,
because that's what, you know, like the bad side of me is what got me through so many different situations.
mm,
No, I actually, you know, think that it helped me survive, you
yeah.
know, it's like some sticky situations.
Prison taught me to grow up. You know, I know I
Yeah.
don't want to put that on label for
Yeah.
anything, but it's like the Department of Corrections absolutely held me accountable because I was that no account, run through people's lives, run through
Yeah.
their cars, run through
Cut
their
and run.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just you know.
So, you know, like there's, you know, that pruning part, you know, like it was hard because I'm like, well, you know, and this is my my pride and ego speaking. I remember when I first got sober, I remember telling myself, well, if I was normal, I'd probably be dead.
Mm.
You know, I'm gifted with this shadiness. You know, like
But
there's
the way we are, you know what I mean?
yeah,
God uses the least likely suspect
yeah,
to help other people because broken people help other broken people
yeah.
once we learn how to heal.
Well, it
You
seemed
know?
like you know, I was scared to let go of, you know,
That identity.
that slimy side. You know,
Yeah.
like I just always felt like I could keep a little bit in the pocket.
Yeah, it don't work though.
And you know, it was my sponsor. It was my sponsor.
Ooh, where's the this guy at? Which one's that? 3? This guy.
Well, you know, it was my sponsor
Yes.
who he's the one who was like, man, you know, like you can't even begin to dip your toes in the game and then expect to come over here and be okay.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think that was like, you know, I got a couple of bros, you know, like I feel like that's what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to, you know, but you know, like
I hear you. Yeah, it's this is the only disease that people don't want to admit they have, and as soon as they get a little bit of money, property, or prestige, then they go back out because their ego gets in the
yeah,
way. Easing God out, edging God out. That's what they told me. My ego is not my amigo.
yeah, for sure.
So
You know, so like there's been like a few situations where, you know, I had to learn how to do the right thing when nobody's looking.
ooh, integrity.
You know, I had to learn how to I didn't teach myself what it is to make the right choice.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm fundamentally, I am fundamentally unable to learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, that stove looks red. I wonder what it feels like, you know?
Yeah.
And then 5 seconds later, it's like, well, I don't think it'll hurt this time as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's me.
yeah.
Well,
so true.
where it says I pick, I prune, I consume.
Mhm.
That's one thing about my process that I've learned is that kind of like I am what I eat.
That's right. That's right.
Like I mean, and it was real simple to me. Like I quit listening to that hardcore,
Oh yeah.
SIBO, Brother Lynch hung, like that.
Oh, most definitely.
Like
That's the first rule. If you ride with me, ain't no devil music. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear any of that because it's like part of what I'm recovering from is treating people like things and things like people.
yeah,
I don't ever want to have the next 7 generations treated the way I was treated or how I treated others.
yeah,
And it starts with what I'm consuming. If I'm consuming that kind of malarkey, then
malarkey.
yeah, that's a good one.
I like that.
Yeah.
So like I had to like relearn, but then like you always say, my recovery turned into discovery.
Ooh.
Like I found out, I'm not a half bad guy. Like there's
Oh, you're
certain
world
things
famous.
that
I love you.
there's certain things that I enjoy that I never gave the time of day to because like it didn't fit this version of me that I had
Yeah.
of myself up here,
Yeah.
which was only a character on TV.
Right.
That never gave those things a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like growing up with the same palette of food that I was eating whenever I was 5.
Yeah.
I never got to experience,
Mm-hmm.
all all the spices and the flavors of the world.
Yeah.
Never gave it a chance because, I was stuck in this mindset that it only had to be this way.
Yeah.
I'm only, and then, like I like the way that they use nature, to me, nature is part of that unseen world. Like you can see it, but I was told you can only see 1/3 of a tree because 2/3 of it is underground.
That's
You know,
That's good. Where'd you hear that one at?
I heard that a
That's a
long,
good
many
one.
moons ago.
That's a good one.
That's how they communicate.
Yeah, and they share water.
Yeah, they share water, they share medicine with each
And
other.
they let the sky know when it's time that they need water.
Yeah.
And then that's part of that
Unseen,
the unseen world that we don't understand.
and it's all interconnected.
Yeah, it's all interconnected.
All interconnected.
Yeah.
So when I thought about, and I just seen it right before you typed it in, to put it right here, and it just, man, like the things that I had to cut away from myself.
Yeah.
Like it was painful.
Yeah. So for me, I heard this in a meeting that recovery, because we go from sobriety to recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and if we do recovery right, we go to discovery. And so sobriety is the physical absence of drugs and alcohol. All drugs, all alcohol, all mood and mind altering chemicals. Because that's a big one where everyone keeps think they can half step it, myself included. I kept, I would start getting, even though I never read the Bible, I'd be like, well, the Bible says right here that all seed bearing plants is, but every time I'd start smoking, then it wasn't the high I wanted. But so if sobriety is the physical absence of drugs and alcohol, then recovery is me getting a sponsor and me starting to work steps.
Yeah.
And if I do it right, when I get to step 12, that means that I can't keep what I have if I don't give it away. So by getting into discovery, I go from the body to the mind to the spirit.
Yeah.
And that's where the good stuff is.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm discovering the 2 most important days of my life. The day I was born and the day I figured out why. But to get to that, it's a process. So to answer your question, the long-winded style, recovery is a process of reduction. I am reducing everything that I think I know about this program, these steps, myself, my disease, my conception of a higher power, letting all that stuff go so that God can work through me,
Yeah.
so I can be a hollow bone. But I can't be a hollow bone if I'm a victim or a tough guy.
Yeah.
Can't be
Definitely.
yeah, I can't do it. You know, you can't tell me nothing. I'm grown. It's not my fault. It's my grandma's fault. She
Yeah.
didn't buy me shoes. Yeah.
So yeah, like there's just so many things that it hits on. There's just so many different
Yeah.
like for me to produce any fruit,
Mm-hmm.
like it comes with planting that seed,
Yeah.
and I I always think about how my seed got planted, you know how like animals spread seeds.
Allegedly.
They ate the fruit and then
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's how it had to happen.
Okay. I think
like
coffee does that, don't they? With the coffee
I
bean,
think
that's what
all
makes it.
animals
Yeah.
spread seeds that way.
Huh.
But I feel like if that's how my process had to start,
Mm.
so be it.
Yeah.
Like look at what the creator has done in my life
Mm.
and the beauty, and I like that one saying that you say, about we plant seeds and we'll never ever be able to taste that fruit.
Oh, Sunday taught me that.
Yeah,
Sunday,
go ahead
and if you're watching this, teacher, I apologize if I said it wrong. That I'm learning how to plant seeds to trees that I will never eat the fruit from, and that is the sweetest fruit of all.
Yeah.
Because that goes in line with our prophecy of the next 7 generations.
Mm-hmm.
That if I do it correctly, then the 7 generations before me that couldn't break the curse, then I heal them as well, because they left this earth angry, frustrated, bitter about what happened to them, what happened to their land,
Yeah.
what happened to the culture, what happened to our people. And when I made a decision to be in the 7th generation, destruction stops today. And so now I'm planting seeds so that our next 7 generations won't
Yeah.
have to go through the things
That we
that
did.
we went through.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
to me, that's the discovery of knowing what my purpose in life is.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And y'all help me with that. You know what I mean? That's what I love about Tour. I love about our tribe, and I love about the warrior society that you're a part of.
Mm-hmm. Another interesting thing kind of happened last night. Well, it's kind of like the buzz around Cheyenne Arapaho country right now is that we had some elders and some representatives go up to Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Oh wow, the first school.
Go up to Carlisle, and
Dang,
what-
somebody wants you bad. Who's Peggy?
Piggy
Piggy.
is my brother.
That's your brother's nickname?
Yeah, that's his nickname. Piggy.
Real quick, Dave says, "Keep facing the mic, Chad boy. We're missing some of your message."
Oh yeah. You gotta
Apologies.
speak into
Anytime I do anything wrong, I have to blame my brother Dave Levi, because he's the one who got me involved in all this. So, blame Dave Levi.
But the buzz around CNA country right now is we had some elders and some representatives, from both sides, Cheyenne and Arapaho. They went up to Carlisle and there were we had some kids up there,
Yeah.
that never made it home.
Mm.
In the early 1900s, these kids were taken from their home and they never made it home.
Mm.
And they exhumed their bodies and they're bringing them home.
Mm.
I think that's The
Yeah.
way that I've kind of been looking at it is, like that's where we lost our connection. I feel like the spirit of these kids are bringing that connection back.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
hurt of one is the hurt of many.
yeah,
The healing of one.
the healing of one. And
Healing.
they get to come home and be with their people now. We get to put them away, the way that they should have been. And, I think it's a beautiful thing right now, for CNAs to kind of come together.
Charlene Mackey said, "Bring them home. Bring them home. Let them rest with their people."
Definitely.
Oh,
And I think it's huge. I think it's a huge deal. While they were up there, I heard Dr. Henrietta Mann,
yeah.
Grandma Nishka.
Grandma, mama.
Yeah, like she did a little message, for my grandkids, for my grandchildren. And I listened to it like 2 nights ago, and I just thought it was like the most beautiful thing, to hear that, elder, speak about, love and, like,
My favorite podcast we've ever. Not, that was my favorite tour
yeah,
meeting. Was because it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful.
yeah. She's a Wellbriety ambassador.
Wow.
Yeah, she's an ambassador for Wellbriety now.
Wow.
Yeah, and lo and behold, of course she's Cheyenne. Yeah.
Hey.
But I got to pray about bringing those kids home.
Mm.
I got to pray about what it's going to take for them to come home in a peaceful,
In a good way, like
in a
that.
good way, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing, and my thought process was like, wow, like my grandma told me what it was like whenever, these men came to get her and her sister.
Mm.
She was 6 years old, and she said I turned around and I was looking out the window, looking, driving away from my house. And she said I didn't know if I was ever going to go back home.
Mm.
And so I think it's a beautiful thing that we get to bring these kids home. We get to celebrate them, let them know that they are still loved. And it's just a beautiful thing to me, right now to think about. Maybe they'll be at ease. Maybe they'll be at peace.
I think it'll bring peace to our community instead of it being our communities.
Yeah,
The larger collective of our community and understanding, because I don't think, because it's not his story is not history. It's written by the quote victor, and most people don't know what happened. They have no idea. They still live in this fairy tale of Thanksgiving was this great feast, you know.
Yeah.
And they don't. Yeah.
They don't realize that we saved their lives.
Yeah, they don't. No, they
Saved them
don't.
from starvation.
That's right. That's right.
Well, should we go down the comments?
Yes. David Deer says,
Stone Cold David.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Charlene, we said good morning to her. We're kind of jumping around on the comments today because Dave said Chad ain't here for a long time. He's here for a good time.
Hey. Oh.
Gotta make the most of the weekend, right? Stacy Starr says good morning.
Good morning, Stacy.
Dave says long-winded style. Think we found Chad's Indian name. And then, yeah, Charlene said, bring them home. Let them rest with their people.
Oh.
And I believe all that's going to be happening in early October. We'll be bringing them home. And I for some reason, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like like a part of all of us is coming back home.
That's right.
A part of all of us. And it's been way overdue. And they get that opportunity. So it's been. I got to pray about it last night,
Mm.
and that was a beautiful thing. Hell of a sweat. My brother Buns ran a hell of a sweat last night, and I felt so refreshed. Get to leave all my problems and my issues there, and that was exactly what I needed. So, is there anything else? Oh well, we do have the powwow tomorrow, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday down here in Concho. It's the All Nations Recovery first annual powwow.
First annual. That's right.
2 day powwow. I believe tomorrow there's a $2,000 drum winner take all drum contest.
Mhm.
So, and then I believe tomorrow it'll be Tiny Tot Junior, and it'll be like the younger categories.
Yeah.
And we got like quite a bit of prize money.
Ooh.
Putting together tiny top bags right now, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
What, Gourd Dance starts at 2?
Gourd Dance starts at 2 out there at Concho, and I'm not, I'm gonna go ahead and knock on wood, but if we have any kind of weather, more than likely we'll move it up to the Respect Gym. But we're hoping and praying that we just avoid that whole. I feel like Creator will hopefully have some mercy on us.
Oh.
And it'll come out. Come out to Concho, and come and come and celebrate. Come celebrate recovery with us.
Something magical is going to happen. I mean, something truly sacred is about to take place.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing is that no one would have thunk it would start in El Reno, Oklahoma.
Nah.
But it is what we're doing here is something that 15 and 20 years is going to cycle across Turtle Island.
Yeah.
Because our hearts are pure. We're doing this not for greed, not for anything other than to help the people. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Definitely. So, come out to Concho, Oklahoma. Come and do our thing.
Barry said, Barry got them ways. Weather won't be an issue. We got a special guest. We have a special guest.
Jump in there.
Oh shoot.
Mike DeGovin.
Is it not?
Mike DeGovin.
Yeah.
Good morning. That's you
Hello.
saying Mike. I meant hello, my friend.
So,
You
tell
made
us
it.
a little bit more about Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, like what language is it?
It's you. So different. We have 7 bands, but 3 tribes. So back in the days, we had 7 bands, and the government formed us into 3 tribes, which is the Southern Ute, the Ute Mountain, and the Utes. They're called the Northern Utes, but they call themselves Utes. So each band, I know Southern Ute is Capote Muach, Ute Mountain is Wiminooch, Northern and White Mesa, that's 4. And then Northern Utes is Uncompadre, and I believe the other ones, but in the years it kind of like trickled down and just became what the government called them.
Okay.
And so Mike is the greeting of hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because we started saying that recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we started saying that recently. We try to say it every morning. So.
I
You know, this is our worldwide
Worldwide.
traveler.
World famous.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood HK.
She travels all over, you know, but she does good work.
Mhm.
You know, she definitely carries that positive message, you know, and she does pop up Wellbriety,
Everywhere.
you know, and I think that's amazing, you know, pop up Wellbriety, you know, where she feels like a meeting, you know, can maybe where it's needed,
Mhm.
you know, and she's definitely, you know, been a great a great person to carry that positive message. So
She is a fire starter.
yeah, the sister Frida, you know, she man, if like in our chats, this girl all over. You know?
From Brooklyn to the Bay.
Yeah, she's all over, you know,
I
and
was seeing her. I was seeing her Facebook posts, and she's like coming down the way, and it was just cool because it's like she bringing that medicine with her, that good old
Oh, yeah.
old medicine.
definitely, definitely. So you know, we're glad you made it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I'm glad you made it safely, and you know, I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm pretty excited. You know, it's we don't know what's, you know, like it's our first annual,
Yeah.
so like I was telling Darian, at some point we're gonna have to stop winging it. You know, like at some point we're gonna have to like make some kind of plan. So
Yeah, that may take the magic out of it. That may take.
yeah,
You know
never
what I mean? It's like because we never planned it. The party didn't start till we showed up. You know, so it's the same thing. We're turning a defect into an asset by letting Creator be in charge.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yes,
know?
yes.
Is there anything that you would like to a positive message? Because we got, you know, Brother Dave is over there with some, you know, some of his students.
I would love to give a shout out to the Ute Mountain Ute Reservation.
Mm.
There's a lot of healing going on down there, and Wellbriety got started there 3.5 months, and just to be able to see the people, you know, hunger for it, and when they get a hear it or get a taste of it within their spirit, it's like a change.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, everywhere that could happen everywhere, you know, just to be able for each and every one of us to be able to spread that message and spread our strength, experience, and hope no matter where we go.
Yeah.
Because there is somebody out there that's suffering, you know, and it's just I mean, it brings healing to my heart more too, because I'm helping people that I was like that,
Yeah.
and I know where they come from. And,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and
Mhm.
and to be able to tell my story and know that they know that, hey, your story is no different than mine, and you know that
Yeah.
we're going through our spiritual culture, and we, each and every one of us have culture within inside of us, you know.
Mhm.
It's just no matter what nationality, what race we are, and
Yeah.
to be able to bring the medicine wheel, and we're going to start implementing the 12 steps and Greek class and stuff. But I
Wow.
want to give a big shout out to the Ute Mountain Ute tribe. You know, it's,
Yeah.
you know, I've grown to really, you know, I'm going home in a sense, but I'm not home yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also shout out to, you know, the people all over Colorado that is spreading the word. You know, it's really rural where we're at on the western slope, and Wellbriety did get started in Grand Junction, and I'm going to take it into Fort Lewis College, and it is on the Southern Ute Reservation. Also, Marvina Ogin, shout out to her, and you know, for her to be able to,
Yeah.
her and Preston Berry to be able to you know, bring this healing and bring, you know, things that we tend to fall away from. I tended to fall away from it really hard. So to be able to come back to our culture and traditional ways is, man, it's a blessing. And I'm so happy to be here and sitting in between both
Yeah.
of my brothers.
Yeah.
You got some comments.
Okay.
Nat says, Frida, sister in the house. And Dave says, heard there's going to be a 2-step special led by Chad and Beth.
That's my future ex-wife. Cat buns.
Cat buns.
Better sit this way a little bit.
Nat says she keeps the highway hot.
I
Our
know,
Lord
right?
plan is truly is all nations and nationwide.
Definitely.
Yes. That's what I was thinking about when they were talking about, you coming in and everything. The medicine that you bring, that medicine is powerful because it
Oh, yeah.
keeps you awake. Like, girl, I know you're
She
tired.
be on the move.
Yes.
She be on the move.
She got some different kind of medicine. No.
She really does. Though.
But like if she gets quiet, she'll start.
Right.
And Nat also says, "Sister, you need a nap today before we get started for the weekend. I just know you haven't slept. LOL, I love you."
Where did you come from?
I came from the house. Oh,
Oh.
from,
Yeah.
Which one?
She made it sound like she's only 5 minutes. I just came from the house.
yeah, that's up the street. I came from I left Toyac Wednesday evening and got up to Moab, spent the night, got to Grand Junction, picked up some
Dang.
swag, and then left from Grand Junction yesterday and made it here about 2 o'clock this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. There's a nap 30.
Yeah.
Yes,
a
I will
prerequisite.
definitely do that.
Well, we're glad you made it, sister. And we appreciate all the good work that you do.
Mhm.
You're always willing to share your story. And I think the pop up Wellbriety meeting, like that's a great idea. Like no, we don't need nothing. We don't need much, but space and opportunity.
So explain the pop-up Wellbriety meeting.
When we it really Medicine Tribe in Oklahoma City, we started doing
my
it.
sister
Yeah.
Lauren.
And we would either do it at the park or Willer Park or Scissortail, different areas, just as long as we had a little space. It doesn't matter if we have chairs or not, just to be able to have that space for people. And so when that started going, then down there, I was like, you know what? We don't, I would tell people, we could just have a yard, anywhere that
Yeah.
we could just stand around and connect with each other. That's all we need. And then so I was like, let's do a pop-up. So wherever I go, I just pull out my book and you guys want to know? And I kind of do a little really fast introduction of White Bison and what we're about.
Yeah.
And things like that. Then we go into the meditation and it just starts to boom and people come and see and they just like want to know. And it's like more people and I'm like, it's just like when they say if you need AANA, that's everywhere.
Yeah.
So why not Wellbriety be
Yeah,
everywhere?
definitely.
Yes.
That's a great idea. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, definitely good medicine. I don't think people realize how blessed they are. Your healing is touching many lives. And that's a beautiful thing. So we appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Oh.
And can't wait to get into it this weekend. Everybody's kind of Darian has been nonstop, just zooming all over all morning. He's probably going crazy, but everyone's excited. Everyone's excited. I ain't got much responsibility as blind as I am. I'm just glad to be a part of the team, and I can't wait. I'm real excited. Brother Chad flew in, Frida stopped on her world tour,
Yeah.
made an appearance, made a cameo, so,
This is how important this movement is.
Yeah.
For us. Barry, I don't know if you realize this, but you touched our hearts, brother. I mean, you act like you don't have any responsibility, but it's because of how you treated us when we came down for the Wellbriety training. That and even before that, when I first met you, and you didn't hold it against me that I knew Dave.
And Beans.
Yeah. This guy. Where's this guy? But that's what it's about. Is that each one teach one. That the healing of one is the healing of me. And thank God you didn't gatekeep me.
Oh no.
You didn't tell me. Well, what percentage of blood are you, Chad?
Yeah.
You know, and because this program, this lifestyle, this movement, this creator works for all of us.
Mhm.
All of us.
Yes, and I felt I'm gonna piggyback on Chad, but he's saying because when I started, it was the 12 steps last year.
Yeah.
That's
Men
where we
and
met,
women,
yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
and it just kicked off. You know, it just seemed like I just known you guys ever since I
Mhm,
was
yeah.
young.
Oh yeah.
And it's
That's
just
right.
like, wow, this love and acceptance and and
Ruggedness.
yes, and not even pushing us away. Always with open arms, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, I do say, we are a ragtag group, but at the same time,
Y'all are bougie. Stop it.
at the same time, like, yeah, I feel like, I love working here. It's just like we're as many of us pack into this office, like, like
Feels like
I feel
home.
like, yeah, it's just like coming home, and so I appreciate, like look how good God has been to me to have you two sitting on my couch. Like that's just a great
And vice versa. How good is God that we get to see each other? Because that was what I always wanted in the dope game, was that sense of belonging that I first got when I first got high. But then all of a sudden it'd be like, this mother, sack.
Yeah.
She said she loved me. She's leaving with a dope man. Come back.
Yeah.
I'll get a job. That's why Beth Cattigus left me, in jail. Yeah, 'cause she's like, I'm the jailer. I'm not here for your visit. I'm like, just bring me a couple soups. Love you, Cat Daddy.
Me too.
Was there anything else you would like to share before we get off of here?
Right down. Okay. I just want to, just to thank the Creator, Father God, for being there regardless of what I went through and what I was going through when I was in my addictions and those toxic relationships. Abusing my own body, and to be able to wake up in the morning and to have a full. I could hear, I could see, I could move around, even though sometimes my bones do ache, but they get better.
Yeah.
And to be able to have that sound mind, to be able, because there's people out there that don't have what I have.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful to be here, and grateful to be able to come home all the time and know there's a powwow somewhere.
Oh, no, right?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what my spirit longs for, because out west is not too much like that going on like it is here in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of things to be grateful of Oklahoma, especially the gas prices, the economy.
Yeah.
Really, it's
Wow.
so expensive out that way.
I bet.
If we hear, it's like, you know what, this is so comfortable, and my spirit, it's always here no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, sis. Mr. Riley,
Can I pray us out?
pray us out, brother.
Oh, great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, and whose breath gives life to all. Hear me. I am weak. I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty. Make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise so I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me see the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I need strength, not to be greater than my brother or sister, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so when life fades as the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. Aho.
Oh. All right. Well, we will see you. Like, share, follow. Tell your mammy about us, and we will see you Monday. Aho.
Aho.